Good evening, beautiful people. Tonight, let's talk about pouring. You will need your usual watercolor materials, but in addition to that, I want you to find a small container, plastic or ceramic would do, where you can thin your paint with water. So basically, pouring is using a thinned paint. It can be applied in watercolor, acrylic, or even gouache. So, I will wet my paper with clean water, and you just need to literally pour your thin paint over your paper. Let gravity do its thing and tilt your board if you're using a watercolor paper taped on a board, or your watercolor block or your watercolor pad, and let the pigments travel on the paper. This is a fun way to get to know your colors, or if you want a livelier background, or if you just want to loosen up, experiment, and learn at the same time. Here I used Moonglow by Daniel Smith, and I love how this turned out. I never actually used this color before, and now it is starting to become one of my favorites. Next, I will do the same thing, but this time, I'm going to use two colors. One light, which is Lavender, and a darker one, which is Neutral Tint. This could get messy, especially if you're trying this for the first time and you don't know how much of that thin paint to pour on your paper. So make sure that you have a rag or a tissue ready to wipe off those excess thin paint around your paper. And once it dries, it is so lovely. I'm going to have a play here with warm colors. I have Naples yellow, Scarlet lake, and Cadmium orange, mimicking the colors of a sunset. And once I am satisfied with how it looks, I will stop tilting my board and ta-da! Now, if you want a more advanced technique, you may use your masking materials. Here I used a masking tape and a cutter or an art blade to cut off and cover a small circle that represents my moon. And I used 4 colors to suggest the colors of a night sky. And finally, I'm going to try it with a well-known granulating pigment, which is Ultramarine. And I'm going to pair that with Naples yellow. And let's see how that looks. I'm liking how this is looking. Where the ultramarine is touching, the granulation is becoming more and more apparent. And I love the final result. I enjoyed this technique so much that I've done this more than 10 times the first time I tried it. And here are some of my output. Let us know in the comments below if you've been using this technique and share your artwork with us, or if this is just your first time giving this a try. We hope you learned something from today's episode, and see you in our next tutorial. Bye!